Hello and welcome back. Echo, echo. I remember you. Okay, sorry about that. Welcome back to our series. We're the ultimate goal. This is episode 6, by the way. The ultimate goal is to get to Oracle 18C pluggable database using ASM single instance on OEL 7.6 in VirtualBox 6. So, without further ado, where we were last time, we had just finished the ASM, Oracle ASM config. I did come in here, as you can see, and took a snapshot, so now I'm going to go ahead and start it up. Okay, so boot up as completed. I'm going to just go ahead and log in right quick. And our single 8 gig ASM disk is there. Okay, so at this point we're about ready to do the grid setup. Before we do get going though, I would like to show you some of the documentation, the install guide. There's a lot of checklists to go through, so let me pull that up for you. Okay, so here is the Grid Infrastructure Installation Guide, 18C for Linux. And this is basically where we want to review all of these checklists and verifications to verify that we have the correct environment. So, breezing through here real quick. Our display needs to be at least 1024 by 768, 8 gig of RAM. Let's see. And again, the package requirements. One of the things it says is we should disable huge pages, so we're going to verify at some point here before we actually start our installation that that's done. Server configuration, huge pages, mount points, memory file system. We're going to check to see if we have a memory file system. I didn't see one in the FS tab, but we'll double check that. Network, and again, this is not necessarily for a single instance ASM. So it does say storage options, and for a standalone cluster deployment we can do either Oracle ASM or ASM on an NFS. Configure a cluster on all hosts, or deploy an Oracle standalone cluster. So then there's a checklist. Having a graphical system, obviously. If we want to configure Xming and Xhost, here's the we'd have to turn on SSH tunneling, but with VirtualBox there's no reason to, and we could even just use VNC instead. And then a couple of checks about the memory and whether or not it is correct. So let's go ahead and prepare, but in order to prepare to start, one of the first things we need to do is copy that software over. So that said, I'm going to open a command window to where I have the software. And we can see right here we have the gridhome software. Arc. Okay, so if you have a typical Putty deployment with everything, you'll find it in program files x86 Putty PSCP.EXE, and we should be able to paste. And we want to go ahead and copy this over, Oracle at 192.168.0.162 colon home/Oracle, and hopefully it'll ask us for the password. There we go. At least I thought we were going. Now we're going. Must not have punched enter hard enough. So obviously this is going to take a little bit of time, so we'll use this time to go ahead and check on some of these other things like transparent huge pages. Well, it actually seems as though the Oracle pre-install has taken care of that for us. It says to check out this file here, and when I took a look at that file, it shows that never is selected instead of always. So it looks like that pre-install package took care of it for us. So we're continuing to copy. Okay, so that actually finished copying. So we're going to go ahead and minimize that. And we're going to pull up our SSH session real quick here as root, because it occurs to me ls-l so user app, grid, and app Oracle are both owned by user root. Although app is owned by Oracle and oinstall. So we're just going to go ahead and change own or -r Oracle oinstall 201. Okay, that took care of it. We just wanted to make sure. So now we're going to go ahead and become user Oracle for a time. Just want to copy that out for the notes. Okay, so make directory -p/u01 app grid 18.3.0.0.0. And let's even call it gridhome 1, just for good luck. And let's change to that directory. Oop. I need to be more careful. Okay. So here we can see our binaries. And of course this is going to take a moment or two. Okay, it finished the copy. So next we're going to go ahead and unzip that. Oh, before we do that, let's go ahead and set our Oracle home. now we'll issue the unzip and let her rip. And of course this is going to take a moment, so we'll just go ahead and let it snooze. Well, finally finished. That was a bundle, to say the least. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now it occurs to me before we actually get busy, the Oracle home grid home now is 15 gig, but some of that seems to be the Linux zip file. So let's go ahead and remove that, and let's also remove home Oracle from the home Oracle file system as well. We don't need to leave them laying around. So now let's see. So now we're at 9.5 gig. That looks a little better, and the root file system also went down. So that's good news. So before we can actually get started, now we need to log in graphically. So I'm actually going to log out of this. So I'll go back to root and minimize this window. We can use it later when it's time to run root scripts. And let's go ahead and log in as user Oracle. And hopefully it resizes our screen and gives us our desktop. Okay, for some reason the screen doesn't seem to enjoy the settings, so we're going to make it bigger just so it's easier. System tools, settings, and we'll try one more time on this one. We'll go to devices, resolution, and perhaps we never actually reset the settings for user Oracle, so that's fine. Let's go with the 1440 by 900, and yes, nice. Okay, we'll go ahead and close that and open our terminal session. There we go. So first thing we're going to do is look at our environment, see what variables we have set. Username is Oracle. Oh, something that just occurred to me. I wonder if I can do it just like that or not. Okay, let's see. Oh, first, let's say host name. We never actually updated the host name in Etsy hosts. Very important. Okay, so let's go ahead and rerun these couple of commands. By the way, remember with Linux, Control Insert, Shift Insert. And we're off to the races. and its building flow. And here we go. I'm all aflutter. Okay, we're going to configure for a standalone server. Actually, we're going to set up software only. Let's go ahead and just do the software only. No. Yeah, let's set up software only. We could probably come back and configure it. So we'll accept that. Oracle ASM and Opera. And you know, you can create all the extra ASM and ASM Opera and OS Opera and all of that stuff. But if it's only your test environment, it may not be necessary. So let's go ahead and try it and see what happens. We're going to accept that as our Oracle base because we're in U01 app grid, so it is outside of our Oracle base. And we'll accept U01 app inventory. That'll actually be in the root file system. Okay, during the configuration, you know, I'd rather run these manually. Input specified also be used to perform additional alright, well, we'll let it do it. Why not? We can always flash back and do it again differently. See what happens. I'm all nervous. Let's see what it says. Oh, no issues. How about that? So, before we actually go in, let's cancel this now. Now that we know everything's all set up, we'll cancel it and rerun it. But this time we'll tell it to go ahead and configure it for a standalone server. Why give ourselves extra steps, right? And the second time it should actually see the Oracle inventory too, right? So standalone server with Oracle restart. Well, how about that? It wants to know about our disk groups. And on the initial ASMCA run, we can actually specify the allocation unit size, which is different. Show all disks. Nope. Change discovery path. And I think this is likely going to be Oracle ASM disks. And we see it. Hot diggity. And I'm not entirely familiar with this ASM filter driver. I'm going to research it more, but why not? Ooh, filter drivers not supported on this platform. Well, I guess that's why not. So, next. Okay. No, let's use the same password. they're not the same. Now they're the same, and we just have a warning, but that's okay. Yes, Oracle and their standards. We don't have an Enterprise Manager Cloud Control environment set up on this. Eventually we could. Maybe that would be another section and series of episodes. And again, we're going to go back to DBA, DBA, and DBA. Yes. And we're going to accept that. And yes. I thought we said yes. Okay. And we'll go back to this. Go ahead and automatically run the root scripts for us. Double check, make sure I typed that right. Check the caps lock key. And prerequisite checks again. Hopefully we'll get summary. We get summary. Ooh. Cluster verification QDisk. You know, let's hit fix and check again. Okay, so now we're all set. So we're going to go ahead, we got ASM disk group as data, external redundancy, one disk, no filter driver, central inventory group. Yep. So away we go. So this is going to take a few minutes. I'm not going to make you sit here listening to me while it does it on my slow storage. So we'll go ahead and fast forward to when it's almost done. Okay, we just got a pop-up. It's preparing to run the configuration steps and says it's going to run as user root. Are you sure you want? Yeah, do it for me. It don't usually take that long. Oh, nice. So it looks like it's doing a little bit of parallel processing. Some things are in progress, but yet it's configuring. So that's kind of nice. I wonder what happens if we click the details section. Let's go down to the bottom, see what it's doing. It's doing, but again, even with some of the earlier versions, it took a little bit to get that Oracle restart configured. So okay, we'll pause a bit. Okay, it's made some more progress. It finished the root scripts. Still the configuration of the Oracle grid infrastructure. Updated inventory. Net configuration assistant is completed. ASM is running. Cluster verification utility is still pending. And just to let you know, I was kind of peeking and fired another session here. Was looking at the command line. Or excuse me, the log file. I'm tailing that log just to verify it's continuing to run in the background. And I'm also looking at the session. Let me pull this up. This is the top running, so I can still see that it's doing things. I can see my restart, stuff is done, and of course this one process is doing most of the work, and we've got activity, and we're done. Hot diggity, how simple was that? So, with all the preparation, we had a good time. So let's take a look at things. It's cat, Etsy, or a tab, and we've got a plus ASM. Plus ASM, ASM CMD, LSDG. Oh, look at that. Data disk groups mounted, running, free. Hot diggity. Let's SCTL stat res-t. Let's look at our resources. So we get a disk groups online, our listeners online, ASM's online, CSSD's online, Diskmon and ONS are often offline when excuse me, they're often offline for a single instance, so that's okay. So we're going to call this one success. I'm actually going to shut the system down. I'm going to take another snapshot and pour a beer and celebrate. And when we return next, we'll look at taking care of the Oracle binaries and installing that. So thanks for watching. See you for episode 7, and have a great day.